Hey, this is Ree here. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate all of you. All thanks to Kali Ma. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. It really helps me a lot. Don't forget to check out my website, paradoxastrology.com. Book your consultation today. I can help you with anything. And if you would like more exclusive occult videos that I don't post on YouTube, consider subscribing to my Patreon. It also helps support this channel. Okay, let's get into this video. Now, this is a breakdown of the numerology and what it shows for the year 2024. Now, this is just the numerology video. I'm going to have a separate video about the astrology, and I'm going to break down dates and specific events, very detailed. But I just want to show you, just based on the numerology, what we can find and how accurate it is when you do it properly. Last week, I performed a Homa, which is a fire ritual to Shiva. And when I went to sleep that night, in my dreams, Shiva was telling me how to break down the numerology in a different way that I didn't think about. So this is another reason why I'm doing it this way. Om Namo Shivaya. This is how the universe communicates to me through dreams. Also, I want to let you know that a lot of people that claim to be psychic use numerology. And a lot of people who claim to be spiritual leaders and that they're just intuitive and that's how they're getting this information use numerology and astrology. So I'm showing you how I got this, how it's broken down. That's how it was taught to me in the dream. He's telling me to tell you this because some people are trying to make you believe that they're intuitive when they're just using these methods. And this is ancient knowledge, and this ancient knowledge should be given to you so that you know how to do it. Nobody should be a gatekeeper of ancient knowledge, and no one should pretend that they're accessing this information when it's really just common knowledge. So that's why I want to let you know this, so that you know you can do this too, okay? And homas and me getting information from sleeping is something anybody can do. So don't think I'm special, and I'm not here to tell you I'm some special me. No, you can do this as well by doing mantras and homas. So how we do this is we add up all the numbers, and then those numbers correspond to a planet, and then that planet will be the energy of that year. So last year, since it was 7, it was Ketu. Ketu behaves like Mars. Some of the biggest events we had last year included fires all over the world, if you remember that. Ketu is also loss. So there was more deaths due to unknown causes last year than ever before. That became a known term. Slaughter is another word used for Ketu, which also describes the current war. Now, this is the year of Saturn. If you look at what was similar to Saturn, what other years added up to 8, the other one was 2006. And if you look at where Rahu is in Pisces now, in 2006, it was in Pisces as well. So this is how well numerology can really help you. If you find astrology too hard to understand, you can always use numerology. Just understand the planets and the numbers, and you can do really great numerology yourself. Also, Rahu, they say, has a similar energy to Saturn. Saturn rules democracy in all forms and democratic institutions. Is the government just and fair to humanity as a whole? Which is one of the questions, because Saturn is the lord of Aquarius, which is humanity. Also, within 2024, we have 2, which is moon, twice, which is moon, and then we have 4, and 4 is Rahu. And then that all equals 8, Saturn. Saturn right now is in Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, and its co-ruler is Rahu. So you can see how this all lines up. That's just a little side note. It's going to be asking about humanity. It's going to be asking, is the voting system accurate? The United States elections will be held this year, and I see Americans being very angry on this day. And I'll make a separate video about that, and that will be on November 4th. So a lot of these themes will come up. Government, politics will be on the forefront, and many changes in these areas, and people will be unhappy with these decisions made by civil servants. Mortality rates will skyrocket, deaths will skyrocket due to cancer, tuberculosis, rheumatic diseases, dull and heavy pains, paralysis, nervousness, cough, harshness. Epidemics and public health are also governed by Saturn. Ketu in Virgo is also emphasizing this, Virgo's health. Many will turn to alternative ways of healing as the medical system will be exposed. fatalities and the mortality rate will rise, and there will be many, many injuries. And some injuries will be due to the neglect of doctors. There'll be many themes around the labor class in general, humanity as a whole. There could be a lot in terms of technology and AI and advancement, and jobs being replaced by AI, unemployment and the homelessness, themes around construction workers, night workers, night watchmen, butchers, labor strikes, poverty and safety. Immigration will continue to skyrocket and create problem and poverty without solutions, and this may affect the labor class as a whole. As Rahu is in Pisces, and jobs will be lost to AI and technology because of that. All lands in the buildings that are built on these lands, real estate, mortgages will be at all-time high. There will be abandoned buildings, people abandoning homes. Crops and minerals will be the wealth, but farming will change. All produce of earth, crops, minerals, grains, mines, and coal will be main themes. There will be unrest in the country. It can be lockouts, national calamities, famines, floods, earthquakes, frustration, hardship, scarcities around the world. A lot of misery in general, selfishness. A lot of places will become slum-like, and there will be a lot of funerals. Despair, agony, inferiority complexes, loneliness, misfortune, and humiliation will be some themes. Now, many will feel stuck and depressed. Depression will reach new levels, and many will feel overworked and drained, probably because of inflation, is one thing that I'm thinking. This is only temporary. Okay, this can be changed by spiritual practice. We must feel stuck at some point in order to change. Next year is ruled by Mars, which is action. Remember, this is temporary and not necessary for everyone. So we have to feel stuck in order to eventually take action. It's just a cycle. Not everyone has to feel this way. You are free to feel however you want to feel, and that is totally under your control. Just because this is ruled by Saturn doesn't mean you're going to be like that, okay? Take your month and the day that you were born, add it together, and then add it to 2024. Whatever number that comes up, that equals a planet, and then that is how your year is going to be, okay? This is just for how it is as a whole. You must detach from mundane activities and seek higher wisdom. Fear is lack of knowledge. It's false events appearing real. So feeling lonely means that you're too reliant on the physical world for happiness. And now it's telling you to go within. So Saturn is sadhana, which is spiritual practice, spiritual ritual. So this can bring sudden awakenings of consciousness, which can occur with this practice and with Rahu in Pisces. So those doing spiritual practices will benefit immensely from this. Consciousness will rise because it's tired of sinking. It wants solutions. Kundalini awakenings, third eye activations, and the rise of ancient knowledge and healing will begin. Underground tunnels will be discovered. There'll be imprisonment, jails, dismissals, arrests. There'll be emergency and perhaps emergency powers will be introduced into some countries. Factories will start using more technology, and the steel industry will skyrocket, insurance, but also bankruptcy. It's all about authority figures, and many see themselves rise to these positions. Saturn is also karma. You reap what you sow. For many who have the karma will reach higher positions in life because of this placement. Since it's 2024, we look at the numbers. Number 2, like I said, is the moon. So the moon is your emotions, it's your intuition, especially because Rahu is in Pisces. It'll be at an all-time high. Like I said, awakenings are happening, Kundalini. This is also the mother, and women in general will be main themes. The population and the masses. Health officers, the nursing profession, midwives, gynecologists, hotels, motels, lodging, hotel workers, restaurants, breweries, cafes will have ups and downs and be very busy. Feel overworked as well. Now, remember, we have 4, which is Rahu. I made an entire video about this, and this is about the transit of Rahu in Pisces and Ketu in Virgo. You can check that out. I go into detail about what that's going to mean about the number 4, but Rahu is AI technology. It is advancement, and Saturn is karma, and this will bring the karma to humanity by what we use to advance ourselves. This may advance many creative jobs. Apps will be created in the matters of spirituality, in the matters of art, but also will hinder humans in these fields as jobs will be lost to technology. Themes around the stars, UFO propaganda will be on the rise from the government, false prophets, false gurus, scams, catfish scams, internet scams, so just be cautious of that. Many who are working in spiritual practices will hit new heights. Everything from astrology, Ayurveda, tarot, meditation, yoga practice, mantras will be in high demand because people will look for ways to leave the body, whether that be consciously or whether that be through virtual reality, as the harshness of life will set in the Saturn year. It's a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call to reality is what will happen. And sometimes we need that wake-up call. The karma has to come back around and we have to see how we've been acting towards each other. And I think that these wars are really going to make us realize, and the technology, what being a human really is and how we should actually be treating each other, how actually we should value each other in the end. So the biggest events, because this is Moon Rahu, will happen around the eclipses. That's when Moon and Rahu are close together. So that will be September 17th and around October 17th, because we have an almost lunar eclipse happening at that point. That's just a small breakdown of the numerology. I have the astrology video coming up, like I said, and I will break down specific events, exact days, and what will occur during that time. And I'll also break down countries and what I see for those specific countries happening as well. So this is just very general. So I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here in 2024, and I'll see you in the next one.